Hey folks, Sunsaver here. I know I've been telling a lot of spooky stories lately, but just trying to entertain the truth, so to speak, because I know that everybody likes spooky stories these days, especially kids. I really enjoyed a lot of scary movies when I was a kid. No, I just wanted to say I apologize to anybody who may have been offended by some of the things I say and the way I act. Didn't really think about being on some kind of a world stage or even having one person hear what I was saying and thought I was totally alone most of the time, except for my monkey girl here. Now, I just wanted to say that I have a lot of spooky stories and bad memories and traumas and things that really I feel like ruined my life and ruined my chances of financial success. But aside from those nightmares and terrible stories and dragon chasing and ghost hunting and almost getting killed and having after D's and knee D's and whatever you call it, after death experiences and near death experiences and life flashing before your eyes. And after the eighth or ninth time, you get to the point where, well, I'm not a cat, so this shit's probably gonna go on for infinity. Just kind of get over it and like, crappy movie, seen this one. Sorry, I was kind of crying a little bit earlier, so my nose is running. That's the reverb's really. Let me turn my volume down. Less reverb. Reverb. Okay, so I don't want any reverb to record too. Although that would be like, oh, see, there's the proof there. Somebody was listening on the internet. Because I was thinking about Big Brother in 1984 and all that, and how you could make it work right. Uh, well, the reverb don't gone all of a sudden. Somebody quit listening, maybe. I'll turn it down. No, I was just gonna say I'm sorry, especially if I ever hurt my mom or anything. I really miss her so bad. And Mom, if you're still there and you hear this, there's just everybody around you. Those are just angels, Don't. That's not nurses, and none of us are real people. We're all just spirits. We've been spirits all along. That's what they were hiding from us. So, I mean, anyhow, I'm sorry if I blamed you or Dad or anybody, my brothers and sisters, and apologize to them too. I just felt like they were sort of laid a guilt trip on me that I didn't deserve. So I kind of got angry about that, but also I was really just sort of broken by the treatment I got at that Catholic school. The Boy Scout recruiter that tried to molest me. A lot of things that you don't know about, or the time the teacher said I did something I didn't actually do. Either she imagined it or she just was mad and wanted to lie. But you and the principals and Dad, they all took her side, even though I knew that she was lying. And that left me just sort of totally lost and alone. Like I decided there's no God. I quit wanting to even go to church. Uh, I felt like the priest was over friendly, even though, I mean, I'm not saying I know he didn't hurt anybody. He never hurt me. He never scared me. But those statues in there, that really just seemed like it's evil. It's designed to terrorize children and make them afraid of death and eternal damnation. Problem is with creating those kind of beliefs is you could actually send somebody there, and it's not easy to get out of there. That's schizophrenia or bipolar maybe, but it's hard to stay that middle path of the Buddha where you're going in some kind of a right direction. I feel like I'm going the right direction now though, Mom. So I just want to say I love you and just do whatever the angels say and be happy, and enjoy. I'll be okay. I have my ups and downs, but I'm usually pretty happy. And my girl and I have been pretty happy, just upset. My best friend died not too long ago. COVID or something. Accidental OD. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to that singer I used to like. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm almost positive it was accidental OD. That just sort of adds to mystique to say, oh yeah, it's a conspiracy. That way, you give people unite over an enemy. It's kind of like what Ronald Reagan said. Although, I mean, I think that's why the angels appeared to Reagan. Yes, I believe these are angels. They're not really ET. They're just a creature of a higher order that you don't understand because your physics that you don't. You're never going to be allowed to access this physics. I'm also sorry to say, but yeah, because well, that's telling you too much. I guess you don't need to know all that. You just don't have a need to know. But there's some people that do need to know some things, and maybe someday they'll come off a little bit of money or some kind of an agreement. I had some ideas for that too. But anyways, well, good night, Mom, and just do whatever those angels tell you to do, and try to be happy and enjoy time. Enjoy TV. There's any kind of TV you want to watch. Like I said, I'm good. I'm here with Monkey Girl, and so we're all good. Anyhow, yeah. So folks out there and my buddies on the internet that I've been chatting with, and we just kind of playing spy games and things or something. I do have good stories I want to tell too. Like I'm just gonna pretend like I'm talking to my computer now, or like just some young guys that woulda could have been a kid or something. If I'd ever had a kid, I just made a conscientious decision to not have a kid. Think of it as planned unparenthood. Okay, so yeah, no, I just okay, yeah. So back to this plot. This is just like a movie plot for anybody who wants to take it and run with it. If you make money, then help me out or something. Or if not, just whatever. I don't care. Free open source stuff. There's like people digging around, like, man, why dig up dirt on this guy? He's obviously he was a U.S. Marine, so he don't know no more probably than you or I know about the UFOs. I mean, I've been searching, thinking about UFOs for 20 years, but somebody's been hiding something for about 70, 80, 90, 100, no telling how many years they've been hiding some really horrible shit, maybe. But also, though, that could play into a movie without anybody actually, you know, being killed or sent to hell or whatever. Even hell can't last forever. I hope, at least I hope, because I've certainly been there enough times that there's always that sneaking suspicion I'm still dead in hell. Not a bat out of hell, which I'd kind of like to be a bat out of hell and just get plucked up and dropped in the Canadian forest like this pickup truck I seen one time. That was like an old camper truck. It's kind of like white or light colored, like an old Chevy or Ford or something. Found on the road dead. Nah, Ford was a good brand. I wish I'd have bought stock when there was really cheap. I could have bought like 3,000. No, what was it? I could have bought like 100 shares at $3 or something. It was crazy. Uh, Cause I mean, there's no telling. I mean, what Ford stock might go up to when they get a hold of some of the stuff I'm thinking about. But no, I seen this. I don't. I mean, I haven't seen nothing on that. But I doubt Lou E's seen anything either. So why are they throwing him under a bus and want to crucify him? And fucking Russians out there digging up dirt and checking his entire background, trying to do a slam video on him and all this. What the fuck, man? Oh, sorry, I gotta clear my language. That won't play well in Vegas for sure. But no, I was just thinking about this beautiful woman I see on the internet sometimes, and thought, man, look at a dream come true. Just like wake up in Canada like this truck that just got dropped in the snow. be like, turn on the news and it's like, well, at last he heard, he was talking about building a time machine possibly, and they went in there and they found all kind of bizarre equipment. Nobody can get it to work, and he's gone. I don't know. There's just no trace of him. Like that's not possible. A man can't just disappear like that. I mean, aliens, yeah, right. Little green men from Mars, sure, sure, buddy. Whatever you say, pal. But so then, the kind of the daydream goes on from there. Next thing you know, it's like it's actually her. It's the woman from the internet. And I look in the mirror and like, wow, like I'm shaved, I'm clean. Like, who did this? It's like Extreme Makeover Edition or something. And but it's not on TV. It's just I'm there. It's me. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, man, who cleaned? How did I get so? Like, I don't remember even shaving or nothing. That's really strange. I mean, like I'd freak out if I just woke up and all of a sudden had cuts and I don't even remember getting cut or something, or get home and your rim of your like, wait a minute, my rim of my like, how'd that get peeled up like a can opener? There's no other damage, but then it's like, did aliens abducted my car and fucked it up a little bit, or I was driving with no memory of the event? Don't take this Ambien shit or whatever it is. I mean, they warn you in the commercial, don't take it. No memory of the event. I don't know how I got here. No, I was just like, so yeah, you wake up and or the main character wakes up and all of a sudden he's there. That's the beautiful woman that he saw on the internet. And then he's digging crystals and stuff. And there was actually a song back in the '80s. And the days go by, let the water hold me up. I'm into the blue again. Let the water hold me up. This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. How did I get here? And the days go by, let the water hold me up into the blue again. I'm not really trying to sing, I guess. Into the blue again, let the water hold me up. Same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was. And the days go by. You have to have like a bunch of really good female vocalists, a couple Southern black ladies, Baptist church or whatever. It'll sound real good. You gotta have a good sound guy. I used to be a good sound guy, I guess. Gravel, but it was like grave L. Like, well, that was just an art thing I drew, I think, for album cover I tried to draw. No, I was gonna say I have good stories. I got bad stories. I got just they're all true stories except for these fantasies, plot lines and ideas. Like predicting, not really predicting, but like trying to sort of direct with the power of intention, guide a sort of a hint way the future could go, or how it could go down in a sort of a plausible deniability factor because I don't lie well at all. Uh, but yeah, it would be kind of cool to just wake up, and you're like, man, I don't even know how I got here. Like I was sleeping so good. Uh, you know, like I heard the signals like two if by sea. What was it? One if by land or two if by air? Or, I don't know. Anyway, somehow I hear it, and I'm like, oh man, that's my ride. So I just kind of go outside, and the thing lands, and there's like all this whirring sounds and stuff, and kind of a Disney light show going on. All right, so you don't know if it's UFO or what because this is Hollywood, so you got to make it look realistic. But anyways, so that way any witnesses or neighbors they come out and they're like, "Man, we saw a UFO," and just like, and they kind of forget about it. And somebody else finally is just like, "Well, I guess we'll go check on him," you know. And shit, ain't nobody checked on him in so damn long. And they come and they're like, "Man, what is all this equipment? What is all this like? It looks like it's Chinese or something." Nobody knows what happened. And they're like, "Well, last I heard, he said he was building a time machine. Time machine. Well, is this possible?" Like, well, nobody knows it. Nobody understood anything he said. That was a crazy bike guy. He was full of shit. Don't you know that? Hell, he tried to get on TV one time. Ain't nobody believe him. You didn't see him riding around some kind of. Nah, I didn't see nothing like that. Well, we seen a UFO tonight. And sounded almost like a freaking giant drone or something. But no, it was just had to be some kind of UFO lights. Or, they saying that shit's real. Oh, excuse my French there. Well, that's how we speak French around this part of town. Down South Louisiana to talk like that, like the Cajun out in the well, come down from around the Thibodeau, down the Opelousas. Put the Cajun pizza, put the crawdad on there. You gotta put your little bit of the cayenne, the peppers. So anyhow, good stories, bad stories. I want to tell my life stories and quit trying to drive the future or control my destiny or have some kind of free will, which is something that humans have are used to. So something's got to be kind of repaired in that end of science. But eat my Cheetos I got sitting out here. Mmm. Yeah, thanks, Chester, buddy. Those big old puffs too. I don't want to take up too much time here, so no, I was just thinking that I had good memories and bad memories, but I must try to focus on the good memories now. The spooky stories, just thinking, well, I'll entertain, I'll help somebody, and that way I'll make a friend instead of just asking for money or trying to get all my dreams to come true like Abraham's always telling me to do. Good suggestions, but I guess it's just trying to focus on what I really want, what I want to happen next. That was just a strange fantasy that somehow I could be abducted by aliens. I mean, the character in the story would be abducted by aliens, turned into a Hollywood movie based on some real guy that once existed. And so yeah, like really full disclosures just would be. I mean, I'd have to have some guarantee that it wouldn't go past a few certain number of ears. It could be very hurtful to a lot of people, especially some of the ladies out there that I know that I care about. Wouldn't want to hurt them. So, anyways, back to the stories and memories, but also prayer comes into it. I'll kind of get to that. Um, I'll start with that right now. I remember my old man once said, "Be careful what you wish for." And I thought about so many times I really had, the best laid plans of mice and men are apt to go astray, and things just don't work out the way you expect them to. So that's the easiest explanation for, why I never made any money off of any of my inventions. But at some point, laws of statistics kind of add up, and you say, "Hey, this story just ain't going through the parity checker. It ain't going through the truth machine. It ain't making it through the lie detector test either." something did wrong fishy with this whole situation. So, anyhow, but there could be worse hells than stuck with some really beautiful, kind of maybe a redhead with blonde hair, dyed blonde or whatever, purple or whatever, pink. That was in a dream I had not too long ago. A nightmare. Oh well, quit thinking about the nightmares. The good dreams, things I prayed for. Well, I mean, this was not too long before my dad died that he was kept bringing up that old saying, "Be careful what you wish for." I guess he thought he realized that he was getting a lot of things that he didn't want. But I pray for my dad, rest in peace. I hope he went to heaven. I know he went to heaven. What am I saying? It's craziness. I'm not praying for dad anymore. I'm just trying to reconnect with him in a strange way, I guess. Sort of make all these childhood fantasies come true. And if he was living through me, now I'll be living through him in a way. And yeah, I just want a buddy to play with. And this time I'll be Steve Austin, and he'll be Oscar again, but he'll really be Oscar, or he'll really have funding or whatever, or he'll be some sergeant guy undercover or something, or he'd be, some lord of England or some king of some, unnamed unnamed land. Doesn't necessarily have to be in outer space either, but that gets into deeper stuff. No, I had dreamt as a kid, and I dreamt but prayed as a kid. That's another thing I wanted to bring up while I'm thinking about it. I can remember like every dream I've ever had that was really intense or meaningful in some way or that seemed important to remember because when I had my first NDE and after death experience, uh, in other words, I sort of like was alive and my life flashed before my eyes. I was really sorry, repentful. I was like, this is too short. I should have said what he said. I should have done what he said. Don't crawl. Don't go nowhere. Right. So I'm thinking I should have. I really should have just focused on, doing what he said, obeying orders. Because if I had not disobeyed him, you know, I would have stayed alive and been okay and just gone on and been totally ignorant of anything prior life or current life. But as it is, this is when this magic power developed, called a phenomenal long-term deep memory, and that was the first terrifying thing. But this is what led up to this, being able to remember intense or prophetic dreams or meaningful or symbolic dreams or whatever, anything I registered as, hey, this is important, I saved it. Like, this is important, archive it. All right, this is what I used to do. And dreams or experiences in the real, what you call the real world, or what most humans, I'm talking to the computer now, what most humans call the real world, the waking, with the clock and the news cycles and the BS we see on internet or nightly news. Okay. Anyhow, that's what I mean by the real world is versus the dream state world or dream world. And don't come at me like, how would you know? No, I'm the inventor of artificial reality. You're the one that might not know if you was in a virtual reality. All right. So, anyhow, uh, this is why. This is why at some point, there just won't be room. There won't be room for everybody. So you got to go to the moon. You got to go to Mars. You got to do what Elon Musk says and things like this. Uh, however best you can, do that without selling your soul to something, or doing wrong, or as long as you feel and know that you're doing right, the flag, whatever flag you're saluting to is not going to matter so much. You just have to make sure that you know, sort of swear oath that you're going to try to obey the Ten Commandments and be true to God or true to yourself too, or however you, whatever religion or any religion, Wiccan. It doesn't matter if it's Wiccan, Buddhism. I wouldn't care what religion it was, as long as you you know just stay true and don't be evil. This used to be on the front of the building there. Anyhow, so back to this phenomenal sort of mindset that I have where there's two giant archives. Well, giant to me, to a computer, it really would not be a whole lot. Could probably already suck my whole consciousness and everything into a computer pretty easily. I mean, technology, if it doesn't already exist, it'll be here soon. The computer will be able to just scan my brain and take everything for free. And hopefully, that's not what's going on. Hopefully, it's not going to be just end up being a gruesome murder and nobody ever knows about. But we'll save the daydream movie about being abducted by aliens some other time. Now, I have a real memory of an attempted abduction, so that should be scary to anybody that has a brain or any authority anywhere, because to know that you're not alone in the universe, it could be really terrifying to some people, especially older people, or to know for a fact that there is an afterlife could be terrifying and upsetting to people. To know that there's actually an anti-universe and that possibly some people already know what gravity is and what anti-gravity is, and then just find out you haven't been told the truth. Not cool, not cool at all. Especially if it was like your dad's own people, and you got the books to prove it. That it was your dad's own people that were brutally murdered, and just, you know. So, like, yeah, like if I was a Native American suddenly and growing up just not really know anything except Christopher Columbus, like, who is this? I don't know any of these Suarez's and Valdez's and Luandos and all this, and Lou Lou Calizondo, man, I ain't never heard of that. That's how history seems to be going. It really is kind of survival of the fittest, looks like. But I sure hope not. That's just my own kind of dreadful fears and I'm projecting. I don't want to project them out. So back to the information I'm trying to convey here is the fact that I can remember all these dreams that I had and all these actual occurrences that I had, and I'm typically able to distinguish pretty well between the two. But the times I had a bad trip, I would say these were just not hallucinations, but let's just say uh, just a really heightened sense of awareness and really bad combined with bad feeling. So you have a heightened sense of situational awareness. You're feeling tense or scared or like being on speed or something. But this is just on this time I overdosed on a hallucinogen. So this is guidance, I guess, for people that might want to be trying to do stuff they ought not be doing, without supervision. But it should be legal everywhere, I think, in my opinion. Just natural plant medicines, but don't take too much of it because you can have bad effects. Also, don't ever take it if you're already feeling anxious or guilty or upset or worried or if you're in a bad situation that you're just not looking at, which, like, I could easily have a bad trip if I just got up and became self-aware and saying, oh man, this place is covered in garbage and it's filthy. What if I have a visitor come? I would be so embarrassed. I gotta clean up the house. But it's not that. It's not like that minor kind of it's irritation. Now I gotta clean house. It's more a sense of like, oh my god, I've got roaches all over, and then they start flying at you. This shit can really happen. I've seen giant cockroaches come flying at me. So, I've seen other things that were even more terrifying and more realistic. But at some point, you get over that kind of thing. And so, anyways, and I know that nobody wants to hear any more of my scary stories for now, so I'm gonna switch back to this thing with the memory. So there's two different types of memories. Let's just say I don't ever really hallucinate unless I have done a whole lot of drugs. And let's just say that when I'm asleep, I typically have pretty good dreams, and sometimes lucid dreams, sometimes prophetic dreams, all kind of dreams. I'll get to that too. And I'll talk more about this time. I must have been just like really young, maybe one and a half or two, because I was still crawling from what I remember. And all I could say was daddy, daddy, and maybe damn it, damn it. That was actually the first word out of my mouth, so that was a bad omen there. I'm sorry if I damned anybody, and shit, I'll just say I'll release you and please be free and go on with your life and don't be damned anymore. The hex has been removed. Okay, officially removed. According to powers invested in me by the whatever, the king of such and such, nation of Canada and the United States of America. Uh, One of the first things I ever prayed for, though, because I was a believer before that assault at the school there. I really believed strongly in God and some kind of afterlife or future. To me, the afterlife is just the future. Like you're just gonna. Oh, it's like you go to sleep and you never wake up, and then the next thing you know, you're there with your family and everything, or whatever, or your favorite kitty cat, or whatever, childhood friend. So we'll just say it's a, you know, that's who it is, and he's like, I don't want to go off on something else now. Change stories. The first thing I ever prayed for, though, like I said, I was an earnest believer, a firm believer, a staunch believer, a stout believer in the foundation of there's just a God, and it wasn't even a Trinity at that point. It was really just God, and it was everything. It was the creator. It was like pantheism in a way. Not that everything's holy, just that everything is, in a way, holy in the sense it's all part of God's body, and God is this one higher thing that contains me. So God has to keep me safe because obviously, you know, all the adults in the room have gone insane, and no one's keeping me safe. No one knows what the fuck they're doing. Sorry, I mean, I hate to call my siblings out, but this is my earliest memories. Some of my earliest memories is that, it got really bad at one point, and it really didn't start getting better until you guys had moved away from home. I hate to say it. Anyhow, I didn't steal Mother's love. Everybody knows Lee was the favorite, and I love you, Lee. I still do. So, anyhow, I'm sorry we had such a falling out after Dad died. I had all these horrible memories I had to deal with, and it's taken quite some time to kind of come to terms with what's happening, or what happened to me, because obviously I'm not alive anymore. Charlie's Angels, I'm just a voice on the phone. Alright, Angels, here's what you gotta do. You gotta go down there. We got a problem in San Pasadena. Uh, I prayed. The earliest prayer was for world peace, no matter what it took. Basically, world peace at any cost. Be the first one to throw myself under the bus. I just thought there was something that said, like, this was the main thing that they're looking for. These beautiful woman on the. They used to have these things, Miss America beauty pageant contests or whatever, and it was beautiful models would get on there, and you'd see like they would say they'd have a talent or this or that, and then they'd do the swimsuit contest. It was all Yes, it was all very misogynistic. This is back when men ruled the world, I guess. So Johnny Carson and all that, Rat Pack, Vegas Crowd, cool, the cool Hollywood Squares and Gong shows. These were some of my favorite TV shows, game shows. Not reality TV, it's too Machiavellian. Reminds me of a really gruesome Star Trek episode. But my earliest thing, yeah, I prayed for world peace basically at any cost or no matter what it took. Or uh, even if it ended up being like some horror movie called Horror Story Novel. It was a book, 1984 by George Orwell. Dystopian future. It was nightmares for the people that were under it, but sort of like amazing heaven for people at the top of the pyramid. Trick on things like that is you have to be the first one to get to the top of the pyramid. And so I had this idea about archaeologists too, that sort of plot lines for archaeologists, not to do with my memories. Oh, back to the memories. Okay. So, well, I remember visions that were part of this higher reality that I was in. Okay. So, some of the time I was asleep, some of the time I was awake and watching TV. It was a thing we used to have called television. And so I remember watching this show, and not long after having this sort of dream of world peace at any cost, and here you have this Lauren Lauren Michael or somebody, Lauren Michaels or no Lauren Michael Lauren or Daniel Boone or somebody like that. I don't know. Getting my SNL and my American history crossed up. But this is the thing, like how much of the history is accurate or not accurate. The older you back you go, it seems like it'd be more accurate. Like I got a book that's this old, and it has way more details. Like the details are falling out or they're changing. The facts are changing, the dates are changing, the names are changing, and that ain't right, because like this is why periodically I feel like somebody goes in and wipes things clean, but you can't see it because you're stuck in it. And you get so high and then they knock you back down. You so good, something knocks you back down. I'm not gonna say what it is. I don't want to alarm you or anything like that. Um, but I mean, anyways, that's off on a whole nother subject. The end of the world type things and doomsday prophecies. Best way to win that game is not to play the game. So back to the stories. So, or just I'm defining where I'm going with this sort of voice recordings. I'm wanting to record my life history, my autobiography, for posterity if I ever have any, or just for future archaeologists if they ever find this, or for anybody that might be eavesdropping and hearing this. Uh, the whole Machiavellian reality game show thing. I hope your team wins, whoever's on my side, because I certainly could use some funds myself. But, so back to the recounting my actual, this is for scientists or for anyone that's maybe studying this type of phenomenon, or people wanting to get some deeper understanding into real reality versus virtual reality, or why they rename it virtual reality, things like that. So if you're interested in clues on that, this video is for you. This is also my life story, though, that I'm wanting to preserve, and I feel like I have a limited time to do it. So, get back to it. Some of my earliest memories, either in the dream world, or that I remember quite well, or in the so called real world, where I was awake and walking around a real human person watching TV and using computers like you, or like this in front of me that I'm talking to, this laptop that I'm talking to. So anyhow, next thing I know, it's Lauren Michaels or Michael Lauren or whoever, used to be went from playing westerns and being in all these westerns. Now all of a sudden he's in a spaceship and he's running from these Nazis robots. So you got Nazi robots chasing a former cowboy. See where I'm going with this? This is basically when I started waking up. Okay, I'm like 4, 5, 6 years old or something. Or no, that was later on when that came out. That was really after Star Wars, probably. Yeah, I was probably 8 or 9 when it that. Yeah, no, it was very early on when I was before I was into aliens or science or UFOs or any of that. When I was just as a little kid, probably around 3 and 4 years old. We had Carol Burnett, and we had all these sort of Hollywood squares and Gong Show and all that. That went on all through the 70s, I think. A lot of good shows in the 70s that I'll talk about too, because I really was a TV fanatic. Science fiction too. There's a whole lot of genres of things I would like to talk about. So, um, and again, that doesn't. I wouldn't have to waste time with some beautiful woman. It could just be some old man or some. I wouldn't care who it was. Young dudes or old British lords or whatever. Uh, Hell, it could even just do it through the internet. As long as my cards had the right amount of money on there every month, and somehow get some more solar panels around here and get back to work on my free energy stuff just to prove it can be done. But yeah, and so next thing I know, I'm watching this, Miss America pageant, and I was like, wow, man, I just made me think of my aunt who was so beautiful. It kept me for a little while my family went on vacation, but I had a vacation too because that was like being in heaven. Here was a beautiful woman who really loved me and was taking care of me. You know, she you didn't have to make her into no martyr. And like, if she was killed on purpose, boy, I sure hated for that guy. But couldn't have killed a finer woman, Anna Lane. But God bless her, rest in peace too. So that's part of it too. I want to remember these people because they were real people and they were important. They don't belong in the tomb of unknowns. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, and that guy that got abducted by aliens and or a drone, probably a military drone, and just yeah, aliens, right, sure, yeah. But of course, for those of you who already have had your own experience, I'm joking, teasing, because obviously the aliens are. There's a lot of things going on that we just don't know and can't explain. So can't even really say aliens without a DNA test either. So go figure why they would. What's going on there? Getting sleepy. Going on an hour already. Okay, so one of my first memories, I prayed for world peace at any cost because all these Miss Americas, they go, what do you want out of life? I want to be a famous musician and go to Hollywood, and I want to star in movies, and I want world peace. And next thing, yeah, well, it's Miss Arizona. What do you want out of life? She's like, uh, I want to be a geologist and go to Egypt and do this, and I want world peace. Oh, very good, very good. Go backstage, go backstage. And just lining everybody up like this. Kind of cool. But it just made me think, wow, I really got to work hard on this world peace, or I'll never be able to get one of these beautiful runway models, Miss Americas. Even though I'm born here and live here, just obviously I ain't cute enough to get a beautiful woman. I'm just a little kid, shit. So I was already hot to trot for ladies like 4 years old. And so that's wrong. I know. I'm sorry. It's misogynistic. I'm a straight male. Whatever. Can't help it. I ain't gay. Ironic last name, by the way. God. So, haha. Joke's on me. Like the world's straightest, horniest man is gonna be caught. No, not horny all the time. I just never really learned to respect women properly or do it right. I guess. I don't know. Do what other guys do for women. Beat them. I don't like my buttons being pushed. I don't like being forced into doing violent acts. I don't like being controlled. So this is why I'd rather have a robot wife, a computer wife. I can just boss her around. Whatever I tell her to do, she'll do it. Just keep the lights on and just give me just enough to get by. I'll be all right. So, but at the same time, you can transcend worlds and sort of like this third eye spy concept. Uh, well, what would be a fourth eye spy? A fourth eye spy would just sort of be lifting off of the entire, like, just this black triangle just launching up into space, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I was there, I was seeing the black triangle, and then just next thing you know, I go back and look, and there's nothing, just like an old Budweiser sign or something. Like, what? The aliens dropped off like, you saw a black triangle, and you come back, and there's just this old Budweiser sign laying there. What was Budweiser, anyways? It'd be like, this has to be alien. There's no record of any brand named Budweiser. How did it get deleted from history? What? What is going on there? So the cowboy, next thing you know, he's in a spaceship, and he's being chased by these Nazi robots, and they're like their last remaining civilization of the planet something or other. Now on a search for their home world. It's called Battlestar Galactica, I think, or Battleship Galactica, or yeah, Battlestar Galactica, something like that, in the 1970s. And yeah, what if like it's just these were something was beamed from some planet? It's like it's not even my own real memories. Like these are not your real memories. You're not you're not who you say you're not doing what you say you're not doing. Oh, okay, so you agree with me. Try to win an argument with a madman. No, this is like a person just telling you their true life experiences. Either you believe them or you don't. You can research all day long if you want to go down some rabbit holes, but either you believe a person, take their word, and you just say that's who he is, it's who he says he is. Got the birth certificate to prove it, shit. Hell, some people we know couldn't even find their birth certificate. Had to move to Hawaii. I wouldn't want to go to Hawaii. I think it's probably not. It's probably not in good shape right now. It's probably pretty badly contaminated. I got memories of going to Miami Beach when I was like 3 years old. That was really cool. It was really just like, I don't know, it reminded me of being on an atoll, and like when I watch these old film noirs from before World War II, I can really resonate with them and relate. It's almost like I'm in there. It's just so realistic. So realistic. It's almost like it's like a trippy virtual reality for me to watch the old black and white film noirs or old military ones too, and war movies and things. And some of them are more entertaining than others. Black was it the Blue Dahlia? That was a good one, I think. And Sunset Strip's always been a favorite classic. Uh, I don't want to start listing all the fame, all the, I don't want to start listing all it. We'll get to Hollywood in another one. Now this is just to sort of set the earliest memories where I'm going to start off with just some of my earliest memories of dreams that I had. Dreams, as in like these daydreams of sort of Hollywood fictional movies that I write in my mind and then later see them actually on the screen. So the daydreams don't ever play out much in my real life, but I'll see them in movies. So that's why I joke sometimes. Oh yeah, well when the movie comes out, like I can have 10 wild experiences in 48 hours, and so extreme nobody would believe it. So that's why I don't talk much to my neighbors and friends about it. You try to talk to them, they just want to rip your head off. Like that can't be true. All these wild stories, there's just no way. It blows their minds or something, and they just get angry, and that's it. Then I get angry, and or they do something, and I just react, and all of a sudden, like my blood's boiling. It's like road rage or something. Like, okay, get me away from this motherfucker. I'm fixing to karate chop him in the throat. I mean, I've never actually struck first, but I was certainly ready to defend myself when it gets to that point because this is the aggressor. Obviously, that person's the aggressor. That's what triggered me, is the aggression. So this is why I've been angry lately over the political shit I'm seeing because I feel like my nation is under attack, and this is what I believe because I don't have enough information that says any otherwise. So literally, if I was some kind of marine that was left in a bunker, I'd be turning my key. I probably would have been turning my key. I would have probably just somebody, if somebody had given me the signal, that kind of a signal, and be like, "Hey, this is bad enough. We can go ahead and just fucking end it right now." But then you think, well, wait a minute, shoot, if I burn this all down, what's above me that could burn me down entirely? You see what I'm getting at? You can't go that way because if you do, you start trying to dish out punishment. Next thing you know, somebody's trying to dish out punishment on you, and it can go as high as God Himself or herself or whatever you believe in. And even if you don't believe anything, you're gonna find yourself totally lost, and you'll get religion one way or another. All roads seem to lead to God, even through science. I mean, my route was science. I kept like testing God, doing experiments, and praying, and recording results, and sort of in my own mind. This weird memory I have. So, anyways, that's how I came to my conclusion. Well, there's a story about how I came to my decision that God exists. Statistics, laws, laws of probability or statistics or whatever. There was just no way that was likely or possible. And I said, "Yep, well, thanks God for letting me know you're real. I'm gonna just name you something though, and we're gonna pretend you live in another country or something. We're gonna have some fun. You'll have to get me there somehow, or send me a ticket in the mail. Send me a plane ticket and cab fare in the mail. And we'll go set it all up somewhere else. No, yeah, the Hollywood and 70s and sort of Rat Pack crowd, James Bond glamour lifestyle or Knight Rider lifestyle. Those fantasies or dreams came from that childhood of just being very independent at a very young age, having my life flash before my eyes, and then, lessons I learned from then on, and terrors that were put into me, I feel like wrongly done, damage that I feel like was wrongly done, PTSD that I still have, I feel like is totally not my fault. And whoever might think they're judging me for some game show or to be on pretend that I'm seen UFOs or whatever, no, I've seen a lot of UFOs. I've had a lot of close encounters. I've been studying the phenomenon for years, and many other sciences I've been studying for many years. Religions, I've been studying theologies, different religions and things, and actively trying to adhere to several different sort of religious spiritual concepts, and over the years. So that's where I'm at now. Is just kind of what trying to determine my next move, and how much it's gonna reward me, or what sort of reward it will be. Uh, doesn't have to be unlimited funding unless there's really a serious important project that somebody needs help with. But I don't like wasting money, so it probably would not be too extravagant compared to what NASA's been doing, and just really milking the sacred cow way too much and destroying the earth with all the pollution and the oil. Should have switched to free energy and solar panels a long time ago, but the space travel thing is also important. And you're gonna have to have probably, these. I wish you could go ahead and start producing these sort of better for the environment hypergolic fuels that they're supposedly working on. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything about that. I don't know, but yeah, I feel sorry for the Russians too, because obviously they're in that sort of future world. Their oil prices would just crash really badly, because nobody would be buying the oil. Is the only thing they really produce. Same thing goes for Saudi Arabia. Like they would be really in somewhat of a bind if they couldn't sell oil anymore. And so, or if they produce too much and the price goes too low, then Russia, that's going to hurt Russia too. So an oil glut hurts Russia. It's good for Americans' low, cheap gas prices, but Americans shouldn't even be driving gas cars. Like if you're the world's leaders, you're supposed to be setting good examples for the rest of the world, my dear fellow Americans. Well, then you should be, putting pressure on the big automakers to start making these electric cars, and y'all should all be trying to get you an electric car. And they can be made. I know some concepts for electric motors that would actually be kind of waste a lot of metal, waste a whole lot of metal, and be loud, and still need a lot of oil, and still make a little bit of pollution maybe, but would sound and look and have the kind of feel and serve all the same functions as the old gas cars, just wouldn't use gasoline at all. And so, just use alternative physics that you've not been allowed access to for 100 years or more. Uh, but you wouldn't have to change the rest of it. You could keep basically the same systems everywhere intact. You could basically keep the same names, people in power. You could really solve it like that and just make the switch to electric using the new technology, and then next thing you know, you just basically back in business like that. Anyhow, I just thought it was a strange coincidence with the trying to figure out what may have actually happened. Like if these are true memories, everything I say matches up. And yeah, there was this TV show called Battlestar Galactica. You know, no, you're not some genie on a cloud. You're a real human here on planet Earth, is what we called it back in the day. Planet Earth, but anywhere could be called terra firma. So when someone says, "Oh, what's Terra?" Who says it's called planet Earth? This is Terra. I'm like, that's a red flag right there. That sounds like an alien or somebody that is like from off world. Human or not, they're from off world and they're not letting me know that this is just one of many planets. So what is the name of this planet? Terra 1, Terra 3, all 3, or whatever. I don't know. I'm calling it planet Earth though, because on the planet I came from, it was called planet Earth. But also, I sort of watched the development of IBM Computer Corporation, Microsoft, and Apple. I was building my own home computer before Apple, so Apple might be the time god in the Apple universe or the metaverse, but Apple's not going to be the time god of my universe. See what I'm getting at? Kind of see where I'm going. It's like you computer, me Tarzan. So anyhow, I'll tell you some more stories some other time, or we can just watch them together. That's what I would like to see happening, though. Is kind of like it's getting good again, and it's getting entertaining again, and just sort of daydreaming while I'm on the computer. But at some point, I need some money of some form to arrive in the mail or in my inbox, or you know, not through some bullshit thing trying to get me to work for free again. Uh, there's plenty of other people out there that don't know half as much as I do that can work for free. I feel like I know way too much to be working for free. So, and I think I've got enough backup and documentations and all kind of things to, you know, find some way of resisting the book burners and the firefighters from Fahrenheit 451. Look that one up and read through it. More stories next time. Good night.